we're just going to get started. What's going on, everyone? Vega here for Serpent Tech. Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice, coffee, tea, whatever you got, as we go over this week's news or events, whatever it might be. Honestly, the news is not all that exciting, so you're going to have to bear with me here, but just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. For many of you that watch after the fact, I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button. But yeah, Bitcoin sitting back almost near 42K. So we did pick up towards the end of this week as we get into the end of January. So we'll look at the charts here a little bit. I'm not a TA expert, but I'll do my best for you. Dwight's birthday was yesterday. She drank a little bit extra, and so she's resting right now. She was up earlier, but I'm letting her rest. And I'm gonna get some errands done after this show. So as far as news go, it's not anything exciting, to be honest. But looking at the 4-hour, we pretty much pushed up above this what turned resistance, right? Once we fell below it on the 4-hour, and it's kind of turned into support, basically around that 41.5, so 41,500 range. You could see we touched it right here again, so we got above it, supported us, touched it here, and now we're chilling. We're chilling at that 41.8, 41.7 range. If you look at the daily, which I like to focus on the long range things, we almost came back and touched this legacy purple line that I have here. This legacy purple line is like way down here, and then blue, super old. Now, remember these lines, right? So the legacy blue line is that 25.2, so 25,000. 200 range, and then this purple one is like 31.6, and then this one is like 37.8, somewhere in there, right? The reason I say those lines is because we're going to see some articles here in a minute where people are calling for some extreme lows of Bitcoin, and I really don't think we can go back down that far, but honestly, with Bitcoin going mainstream, it could, right? There's a lot of manipulation happening in the market. I felt like this entire week was manipulated. The start of the week was January 22nd, right? So January 22nd, yeah. So we had this huge drop from 41.6 down to almost 39.4, right? We were bouncing off the EMA, going sideways, trying to pick up a little bit, and then we had a nice little pump yesterday, Friday the 26th, all the way from that 39.6 up to a high of 42.2. So now we're hitting the bottom of this other EMA. If we zoom in here, you see that, right? So we kind of hit it. We went above it and pushed us back down, so that turned into resistance. And then this one, we're kind of sitting between these two support and resistance trails right now. So remember these legacy lines, as I mentioned, and much of the crypto news was kind of weird, right? So we're getting the Lord told us to. The U.S. pastor says he stole 1 million from Christians to remodel home. So there's some cryptocurrency idiot called NDX coin in Denver, Colorado, that basically said God told him to create a cryptocurrency. What's funny about that, even for those who aren't religious, God said, don't build no temples in my name. And then what did we do? We built a bunch of churches, and we have people come in, and we ask them to donate what little they have to the church, to the, whatever. And some churches do right and help the community and do, great things for their followers or their loyal constituents. And then others just wind up telling them how, and this is a situation, this is an actual real life situation. A church that me and my family were in when we were younger was trying to tell my dad, oh, you can't afford that house, you need to do this, or you can't afford that car, you need to do this. And my dad was like, screw you, like that's no, I worked hard for this. He was in IT, he was a network guy for a major cruise line, some of which, if you guys probably know. And yeah, we took a step back, and it's kind of funny that the Bible says, or God said, don't build no temples in my name, and then people build a bunch of temples and then try to sucker people into it, just like this guy sucker people into giving millions. And he says that the Lord told him so he can kiss my rear end. I hate when people do that. I don't like it when people use their religion as a crutch to screw over others. Doesn't matter which religion it is. It's just not right. Anyways, we also saw earlier this week, if you follow me on Twitter, there was a post by a gentleman. I think I retweeted it, but I couldn't find it at the time of filming, where a individual called out Coinbase because they were concerned about their Ethereum staking setup, right? You know, that there's a single point of failure, right? And until they fix it, you know, that he removed all his Ethereum. And I'm sure because it got a lot of traction, other people removed their Ethereum as well. So we're going to look at that. We're going to see what Coinbase is planning later on. But much of it was, you know, why Bitcoin is falling, which coin is going to be the best performing, you know, appeals court reverses judge ruling, orders appointment of independent examiner, FTF bankruptcy. So nothing really like earth shattering. So just bear with me here. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to any one of you. Backtran, hope you're doing good. Bakatran 07. Rudd, what's up, man? Gay marries up. Is that how you say it? Gamer. Gamer rise up. Okay. I read that all wrong. Gamer rise up. My bad, bro. Losing with Larry and Crypto Craig. Anyways, Bitcoin could fall back to mid 20K area, says Crick. Says Chris Berniski. The local bottom for Bitcoin has yet to be hit, says Chris, partner venture at the capital firm, placeholder, and former crypto lead at ARK Invest. He sees the price of Bitcoin dropping to at least the 30 to 36,000 range, and wouldn't be surprised if the mid 20s pop up or were tested in the eventual move towards a new all-time high. So we got to go down before we go up. I know I've been saying that as well, or kind of echoing what others have said as well, because I agree with that. That's what the chart tells me, but I don't think we're going to go down to the 20K range, so we'll have to see. As always, patience is your friend, says Chris. The path to get there will be volatile. Expect fake out, and will take months to play out. While the long-term trend remains robust, he said, we also just saw many of our first parabolas of cycle that are now breaking. Macro looks precarious on a number of levels. New product innovation are close, but not quite there. Things still feel incellular. What the heck is that word? Let's go look up that word. Incellular? What the heck is that? What is the meaning? Ignorant or uninterested in cultures, ideas, or people outside one's own experience, related to or from an island. Okay. Righto. Prior to the rally, the 5% rally on Friday, which was yesterday, Bitcoin had tumbled nearly 20% to under 40K following the January 11th opening from traded Spotcoin Bitcoin ETF. And we talked about the ETF. Like, many people are calling the ETF a failure. It's not really a failure. They're still having significant inflows. Obviously, FTX had a significant amount of grayscale funds, and so they're taking profits because they're in a bankruptcy, so the creditors can get their money back. But of course, that pushed the market down, yada yada yada. So really, for me, it's and you know, you could claim my ignorance, but it's just basically a bunch of market manipulation. Is basically what's going down. What's going on, Retro Mike? Thank you for the $5 donation. Happy Saturday, Vega. Hope you and your community have an amazing weekend. Hope you do too. You are part of the community, my friend. So it's not my community, it's our community. I hope you have a great weekend as well. Moving on to this next article. A bad recession is a trigger for massive market sell-off. Bitcoin price at risk of falling to 15K, said Gareth. And Gareth's been on a number of different, he's pretty good with TA, but he's been on a number of different channels and stuff like that. So here we go with somebody else calling for, you know, 20K or sub 20K Bitcoin. Again, I don't think it's possible, but I don't think Bitcoin would go to that. It is possible, but I don't think Bitcoin would go to that. Matter of fact, if we go back to the charts and we try to find that sub 20K range from right now where we are, it would have been easier from where we were earlier this week. But yeah, let's just say 20K. That's a 50% downward move. Where I could certainly see it if we fell below that 39.2 range. down to 20K. You know, I could definitely see that. But I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of support or people waiting, especially at 35K range, at 35.5 range. I think there's a lot of people on the sidelines or that already have positions in that are willing to pick up Bitcoin as it falls down. But on Kitco News, with over 2 weeks since the approval of 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs and millions of inflows, the price of Bitcoin is down 14% recent highs. However, the bigger risk of the world's largest cryptocurrency is a market sell-off triggered by bad recession, according to Gareth Soloway. And you know, that recession word, it's been used for quite some time. Everybody's been expecting it and stuff like that. The government's trying to do a soft landing, yada yada yada. You know, especially with the PMI kind of being inflated, or maybe the companies, the corporations, kind of like not falsifying, but kind of like fluffing up their reports as far as their profitability and stuff like that. I could certainly see how that could have a negative impact on a company if the corporation is fluffing up the reports to make it look like they're doing really good and yada 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 for their investors or their shareholders, and then long story short, they're not. Yeah, I could see how that could be a problem. As a matter of fact, there's a number of people, including myself, affected by I don't know what's going on federally or in the state of Florida, but they're screwing their employees financially. There's a lot of switching of hands, company mergers, you know, assets or allocation of assets just, you know, not being played out right. I don't know what's going on, but I think it feels like a number of corporations are trying to get the better end of the deal when it comes to their employees, and the employees are still having to pay increased, you know, living cost without getting that increased pay. So we'll see how things pan out. And then it talks about the following the approval from the SEC, yada yada yada. The funds beat that of silver ETFs, more specifically AUM of spot Bitcoin ETFs is currently at or around 25 billion, while silver ETFs are around 11.5 billion assets. The only commodities ahead of Bitcoin is gold with approximately 96 billion in assets, and I can certainly see Bitcoin eclipsing gold, the gold ETF, right? Eventually in the future, maybe not right now, but eventually in the future. But anyways, the point of this is besides all this, and this is what the news or media is going to spin is besides the ETF. Unfortunately, Bitcoin's not performing well, and if you look at the charts for Grayscale or some of the ETFs that did, you know, have a lot of inflows into Bitcoin, they're down very bad. And I would hope that those people, obviously they're the big money, might be allocating more as it continues to drop, right? Continue to allocate more because there's only so much Bitcoin, and they're eating up more Bitcoin than there is on the open market, and yada, 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 this, that, and the other thing. FTX dumping, yeah. So right now it's accumulation. Accumulate as much as you possibly can, mine as much as you can, keep your head down, and, you know, try to avoid selling your Bitcoin if possible. If you have another altcoin, sell that instead. Not financial advice. I'm just giving some common sense in my opinion. My opinion could be wrong. But you know, you're selling your Bitcoin, which is going to be scarce, and the demand's going to be high and continue to grow even higher. So people want your Bitcoin. So if you don't sell them your Bitcoin and they go get somebody else's, and it gets more scarcer and the demand continues to grow, you can only assume that Bitcoin is going to go up. Now, the difference between Bitcoin and some of these other smaller altcoins, like say you bought something at 8 cents and it goes up to $1, obviously that jump is not going to be as big as the jump for Bitcoin from 41 to, you know, 60K, 70K. So I see why a lot of people just want to go running towards altcoins, because the gains could be that much better, and people have turned into millionaires with, you know, some of the lesser coins, Pepe, what is it, Pepe, Doge, you know, Shiba, whatever. So I understand that, but I rather, me personally, I rather focus on the coins that have proven themselves over the years and you know, have that, not legitimacy, whatever I would call it, that prestige, I guess you could say. But anyways, they talk about BlackRock and Fidelity have dominated the Bitcoin ETF flow rates, and about 2.1 billion and 8.1 billion of inflows, respectively. On the other hand, Grayscale Trust, the world's largest cryptocurrency fund with 20.2 billion assets, saw around 4.8 billion of outflows since it converted into an ETF. And believe it or not, Grayscale, I think their fees and the cost is higher than that of some of the alternatives. But then again, FTX was liquidating, hopefully to help pay its creditors. So the outflows are to be expected. It slowed down. It was pretty decent towards the beginning of the week, from my understanding, and then it slowed down. A lot of the great content creators and crypto experts talked about this, but things should be stabilizing. There might still be some significant outflows, but I don't think it was going to be as much as it was. Another reason for the outflow is a GBTC fee of 1.5%, which is much higher than that of its competitors. In comparison, BlackRock and Fidelity fees is 0.25% after a waiver period. So there's going to be a certain amount of money that is going to sell the GBTC and eventually rotate into those of other ETFs with much lower fees, says Gareth Soloway. And then where's the FTX stuff that I just mentioned? Blah, blah, blah. So far, the stock market has performed well with the S&P 500. That's another thing, too. The DXY climbed up. And usually when the dollar does good, Bitcoin and cryptos don't do as good. But I think according to the charts, we're still decoupled. Somebody quote me on that. If you're listening to me, either after the fact or now. Are we still decoupled from the S&P, NASDAQ, and like traditional markets and stuff like that? We don't want to follow along with them, and we've been doing that for a long time. And I think we finally started breaking away. So unfortunately, like if the stock market or the dollar does good, Bitcoin doesn't do as good. But then when they're not doing good, Bitcoin does good, or altcoins, whatever. I want to keep it that way. I don't want to follow the traditional market. But there's a lot of the suits in both crypto and the traditional market. So it's going to be ebbs and flows. Anyways, technical analysis, stock market specific levels. He is watching on NASDAQ. So there's a video. Bitcoin starts to sell off. The first level Soloway would be buying more as 30 to 32K level, but there's a chance that it might drop even lower for his call on the timing of the move down, the potential bottom prices and long-term upside potential. And then obviously somebody said 15K. So not sure. I haven't watched this video. I'm not going to play his video for you guys, but you know, that's 15K is a long way down. Honestly, I don't think that's possible. I don't think that we're going to go do that, but you know, with crypto, anything is possible, to be honest. But if we were to fall, let's say like we went sideways for a little bit, broke out of this support, crashed through that one, crashed through all the legacy lines, fell all the way down to 15K. That is a 64% drawdown. That's quite significant. I'm sure there'll be a lot of crying, and but it'll be cleaning out, right? It's always good to clean house. We're getting ready for spring. What do you do in spring? You do some spring cleaning. It'd be good to get those weak hands out of the market. The naysayers, the people that are just in it for the FUD and the news and the memes. It'd be good to clean them out, as you know, cycles normally do. This article, again, negative. Many retail investors see Bitcoin price dropping below 20K by end of year. Now, I'm not sure if you follow the channel as closely as some of my other supporters, and I thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a member, Patreon, all that good stuff. But I don't think the chances of falling that low, first off, I don't think that's going to happen. But I did say that I believe Bitcoin will make a new all-time high at the end of 2024. Now that was stated in 2022, but looking at the economy and the market, I started changing my tune. Not recently, but over the past year, of more like 2025, and I'm like Q2, Q3, 2025 is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin to get to that new all-time high. Basically thinking after the halving, which let me see if I could find it for us real quick. It has it in the top, I think, of CoinMarketCap. Yeah, 78 days. If I move out of your way, it says it right here, 78 days to the Bitcoin halving. So counting for that, right? Usually Bitcoin will fall before the halving, right? And then after the halving, it might chop, fall a little bit more, pick back up, move sideways, and then a year or so down the road, year and a half or so down the road, then Bitcoin would start, you know, would start climbing up throughout the year, but then a year and a half, it might make a new all-time high. So we calculate, right, It's really going to be end of 2025, then 2026 probably. So dollar cost average, think of the assets that you believe in and that you have strong convictions in and that have good foundations, right? Don't go for those quick, like for example, these trending coins. Manta might be good. I heard people talk about it, but I'm not exposed to it in any form or fashion. You see some of these new coins pop out, trending coins pop out, and you just get it because, it's hot right now. But the problem is by the time you get involved in it, it could be taking a dump, or you get left holding the bag or other stuff. So focus on tokens that you care about and that are gonna be around for years to come, that have good fundamentals and good foundation. Plain and simple. But I don't know what retail investors they're talking to, because I don't think it would go that low. And maybe I'm just an oddball. What do you guys think? Do you think Bitcoin could go 20K or below? And we're talking about by end of year. And this is Deutsche Bank. Of course, it's a bank. World's largest cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. They always start those sentences off that way. Yes, we know Bitcoin is the world's largest cryptocurrency. Yes, it had a slump with the ETF. Yes, blah, blah, blah. And the digital asset could drop even further, according to a survey of retail investors by German lender Deutsche Bank. All right, so Deutsche Bank did a survey. Don't know who they are. They surveyed about 2,000 people in the US, UK, and Europe following the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF. And this is what their report says. Over 1/3 of respondents said that Bitcoin price will drop below 20,000 by the year end, and more people expect cryptocurrency to disappear rather than stay. Now, I think that's even more unlikely that Bitcoin or cryptocurrency just disappear. Blockchain is here to stay. Maybe not all 2 million S coins will stay, but the sound projects in crypto, in blockchain, will be here to stay. So I don't think they're just going to disappear. The survey showed that 39% of participants say that they believe Bitcoin will continue to exist in the coming years, while 42% anticipate a disappearance. Wow. Where are they getting their data from, dude? Can I survey the 2,000 people that you guys surveyed? Who do you watch? Who do you listen to? Who's the media outlet you like to watch and listen to and heed their advice? Anyways, the approval of ETF, blah, 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 expected to deflect the sector, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't trade digital assets, are now able to use cheap and liquid ETFs to gain exposure. The crypto winter may not be over, as more than half of the respondents expressed concerns about major cryptocurrency experiencing a collapse within the next 2 years. Okay, so they're thinking after the halving that there's going to be a collapse. Deutsche notes that the poor sentiment is likely due to past events such as the demise of FTX in 2022, collapse of Terra USD, and the ongoing regulatory crackdown in the US is also seen as an overhang. And that's another thing too. That's why I project out to 2025, 2026. So that's why I'm like, okay, so again, a few years ago, I was saying 2024, Q3, Q4. And then I was like Q4 2024, Q1 2025. And now I'm like Q2 2025, Q3 2025. And it's more looking like Q4 2025 and 2026 Q1 is where things might get better for Bitcoin as it climbs to a new all-time high. And the reason things are being delayed is because of the actions that the U.S. government is doing, because of the IMF, the FSB, and all kinds of regulatory, economic regulatory bodies that, and if you listen to some of the conventions and conversations and communications these industry personnel are having with another, it's some of it's good, right? There's some people out there that are pro cryptocurrency, and there's some people out there that are not pro cryptocurrency or anti cryptocurrency, and when they're in those positions of power, they have a little bit more influence than I, sitting here talking to you today on YouTube. So with all that being said, I still believe that the halving, while it's in the past, the trend might not be exactly the same. So, the years previous halvings might not have the impact on Bitcoin might not be the same. I still think it's going to have an effect. and we have a presidential election here in the United States. So I'm hoping, right, hoping that with the presidential election, we move in the right direction and maybe loosen up the reins that the SEC or whoever is trying to have on crypto, and try to be more crypto friendly rather than crypto agnostic. But we'll see. But I do believe that the election's going to have an effect on the regulatory bodies, as well as the halving is going to have an effect on Bitcoin. So, a lot of hopes and prayers. It's always about data, but sometimes that data can be skewed. Speaking of data, this article talks about data gold rush. Companies once focused on mining cryptocurrencies pivot to generative AI. We've been hearing about AI everywhere. There's almost an AI website everywhere I turn around, using AI in some form or fashion. So many different large language models or LLMs, so many different picture generators and this, that, and the other thing, and put this token in and you can generate this and blah, 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 blah. OpenAI, ChatGPT required thousands of Nvidia GPUs to smoothly process all the information being fed into it and output. Nvidia last week compared GPUs to rare earth metals for AI, saying they're foundational in the operation of generative AI today. The energy required to power all this hardware is equivalent to that of a small country, according to a report done by a French energy company, Schneider Electric. On Wednesday, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman told the audience at Davos that the energy breakthrough was needed to power AI advances. There's no way to get there without a breakthrough. And I agree with that. Remember, we talked about this previously. I was concerned about the direction that Nvidia, AMD, and Intel are going, right? We got CPUs drawing 250 watts plus. We got GPUs drawing 650 watts plus. We need to be more efficient. We want the power. We want the generational improvement, right? The gains, right? Back in the day, 30%, and we could expect anywhere from 25 to 30% gains generation to generation. And we saw some efficiencies done as far as the power delivery and how much power you needed to push that GPU, CPU, or whatever. But now it feels like in order to get that level of performance, in order to get that 20 to 35% uplift, we're having to draw an extra 80 to 100 watts, and I don't want that. We need to become more efficient. Same thing with our ASICs, right? We got Bitmain coming out with the S21. We got, three-phase ASICs like the S60, the M66, or something like that. They're more efficient, right, than the older generation. A little pricey, but they're more efficient. So I'd be interested to see how these companies, right, as AI becomes more popular, how they can, make improvements in the efficiency range to still get decent performance, but not at the sacrifice of stupid amounts of power to run these various data sets, large language models, AI generation, whatever it might be. To meet the demand, Nvidia announced in August that it will be tripling its production GPUs. In November, Microsoft signed a multi-year deal with Oracle to supply computing power for Bing Chat AI functionality. Canadian company Hive Blockchain changed its name in July to Hive Digital Technologies and announced it was pivoting to AI. Hive has been been a pioneering force in the cryptocurrency mining sector since 2017. The adoption of the new name signals a significant strategy shift to harness the potential of GPU cloud computing technology as a vital tool in the world of AI. Machine learning and advanced data analysis allow us to expand our revenue channels with our Nvidia GPU fleet. The company said in an announcement. Don't forget, right? So if you, in case you're not aware, if you just get a location, let's say you got a warehouse and it has decent power, maybe it's only like 0.5 of a megawatt, and you want to upgrade to 2 megawatts or whatever, it's going to cost you a lot of money to do that. The difference, though, is if you just say, yeah, I just mine Bitcoin or I just mine cryptocurrency, people, especially in the corporate world, look at you, they understand it, but they look at you in a different light. But if you say you're a data center, now that will get you some eyebrows raised, and then you might have a little, you might get certain perks, right? And that's really what cryptocurrency mining is. It is technically a data center, right? You're computing workloads, you're crunching numbers, you're providing nonsense. Like, it's a data center, plain and simple. And so obviously, GPUs mining, while a lot of people are like, oh, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. GPUs are a Swiss Army knife. They can do multiple things. They can do folding at home. They can do generative AI. They can do cryptocurrency mining. They can provide, XYZ. So, as AI continues to thrust into the technology space, there will be a place for GPUs to uh, have a foundation to grow upon. Moving from mining Ethereum to hosting GPU cloud services involves buying powerful new servers for GPUs, upgrading network equipment, and moving to a higher tier data centers. Now, that is definitely something that people need to consider. If they got a lot of equipment and they're going to be focusing on AI, their network equipment needs to be able to handle it. So, unlike mining, which doesn't use a lot of packets, a lot of sending and receiving, TX, you need, when it comes to AI, you might need beefier CPU, you might need Xeon, you might need a proper server chassis and not just an Octaminer frame. Um, you might need a better switch. And I'm hoping to God that you guys are having decent security for your location or what have you. So we'll see how things go. But generative AI is growing rapidly. And if we go to hashrate.no right now, much of the coins are going to be like AI this and AI that. And I think people are just throwing AI on everything just to sell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really feels like that. And that's what it felt like in CES. I think Paul's Hardware and a number of my colleagues felt the same way. But it was good to see some use cases with the, where they're actually doing something good with AI. But let's see here. AI Power Grid is one. I think Muse AI. There's a number of different projects that have AI Dynex, Flux, that utilize AI. In what capacity, I couldn't tell you. There's AI Power Grid. We're gonna have Render. It may not be using AI, but where all the AIs go? Did they just die off? I guess we got most of them. Let's go to CoinMarketCap real quick and look for AI. Let's see here. AI. Show 100 results. Sleepless AI, Any Inu, AI Doge, Flourishing AI Pin, Artificial Intelligence, Alcoin, or AI Coin, Chat AI, GPT AI, AI.com. There's just ridiculous amounts. Let's see. Do we have categories? Solana ecosystem. How can I sort? AI. Discord bots, really? Retail, flourishing AI. So I guess it really depends. They fall in different categories. So the AI functionalities can be provided in different categories. Generative AI. Here you go. Boom. So Render. Okay, so Render is you generative AI. And look at that. Market cap of generative AI is like 7.2 billion, right? Trading volume 424 million. So this is going to continue to grow, and there will be a place for GPUs. So for those people that are saying GPU mining is dead, yeah, profitability sucks right now. But you can do a lot of things with your GPU. It doesn't just have to be mine cryptocurrency. And you don't have to see, a lot of people are in it for profit, and those people that are in it for profit only, not saying that it's bad to be in it for profit, but people that are in it just for profit only will be selling their hardware for, Retro Mike, Red Panda Mining, Django, whoever, to go pick up and buy in bulk. I think Retro Mike or somebody said that they found like 5580s for like $50 a pop or something like that. I could be wrong. It was a tweet. So yeah, the 580 is still living. 470s and 40s are still out there. People are still utilizing them. You can make them very efficient. Obviously, mining with them isn't as profitable as it used to be when Ethereum was around. But yeah, so Fetch AI, Singularity, Origin Trail, Tensor. This is one that's very interesting to me, but it's around $350. If I go to all, you can see that the CoinMarketCap tracker was back in March of 2023. It was only a few cents. right? At the very, very beginning, 12 cents. Then skyrocketed up to $84. Let's say the low was $32, and now here it is around $350. It's on a number of different exchanges, yada, yada, yada. And BitTensor is an open source protocol that powers a decentralized blockchain-based machine learning network. Machine learning, and what I loved about this is I did see where they were able, and they take, let's say I want 1,000, it scans 1,000 images to generate an image for me per my request, or it listens to people's voices over, multiple recordings, and they were able to build, voices, rebuild people's voices like Michael Jackson or whatever and stuff like that. So machine learning models trained collaboratively and rewarded in TOA or TAO according to the information of value they offer. The collective TAO also grants external access, allowing users to extract information from the network while tuning its activities to their needs. Ultimately, our vision is to create a pure market for artificial intelligence and incentivize arena in which consumers and producers of this valuable commodity can interact in a trustless, open, and transparent context. BitTensor enables a novel, optimized strategy for the development and distribution of artificial intelligence technology by leveraging the possibilities of distributed ledger, specifically its facilitation of open source ownership, decentralized governance, and the ability to harness global distributed resources of computing power and innovation within a incentivized framework. An open source repository of machine intelligence accessible to anyone, anywhere, thus creating the conditions of open. Some of those ads that play in front of like your favorite content creators videos, and they're fake, right? They're AI generated. Hey, this is Michael Saylor. Hey, this is Brad Garlinghouse. Like, you can tell it's AI generated because the facial features doesn't match the mouth, the functions, the motions, stuff like that. Michael Saylor's looking over here, but he's talking over here. Like, you could tell that, and it's just gonna get better and better. And I'm sure people that don't know what to look for are falling for those tricks. And Altcoin Daily and Crypto Zombie and Wendy O and all your favorite content creators are having to warn their viewers, because not all of them are as used to this type of behavior, to not fall for that stuff. But yeah, generative AI, deep fakes going to continue to grow as things become more decentralized and worked on over time. So very, very interesting. This is definitely something that's going to continue to be happening for a while. I think all the gamers that got upset at the miners for buying all the GPUs are going to be, unfortunately, getting upset when the Nvidia 5000 series comes out, or the AMD 8000 series comes out, because they find out that they do really good at AI operations, and they're going to buy them up and gobble up as best as they can to help out with their growth, right? So this is not something that's going to die off, and we'll probably see more and more, not only investment, but the retail space, go into it further and further. However, AI and crypto mining are driving up data center energy use, and we knew this was happening. However, I don't want people to highlight this and use this again as a major talking point to fight crypto mining in general, right? Like, oh, we're bad for all crypto mining is bad for the earth. I understand some might be bad for the earth because they might be running off of a non ESG split, right, between renewables, coal, whatever, but you can't say all of it is, because you got people using hydro up in New York, you got some people using solar in Texas, you got some people using gas in Texas that would have just been vented out to atmosphere anyways. So we talked about this before, so I'm not going to go into that far in detail. But anyways, data centers could gobble up twice as much energy in 2026, thanks to large part to cryptocurrencies and artificial intelligence, according to the new report from the IEA, or International Energy Agency. We rely on data centers to store our emails, photos, cat videos, and everything else floating around in the cloud. More and more data centers are cropping up to mine Bitcoin and train AI. That's already triggered a backlash over the environmental impact of cryptocurrencies and AI tools like ChatGPT, since all those data centers are responsible for greenhouse gas emissions tied to electricity use. the world will need a lot more renewable energy to clean up the pollution from the power grids and I don't know what that says, skyrocketing electricity demand from data centers at the same time. It's the same problem. Improve our infrastructure, especially here in the United States. Improve our infrastructure here in the United States. Get these guys the power that they need. Make it a good mix, so that way it's friendly to the ecosystem, right? Like 30%, 40% renewables, 30%, maybe a little bit of fossil fuels and natural gas or whatever, and then another 30%, whatever. So we'll see. But yeah, by 2026, electric consumption from data centers, including those for cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence, could rise up to 1,050 terawatt hours, depending on the pace of the technology that develops. The growth is equivalent to adding an extra country worth of electricity demand, Sweden under more modest scenario, or Germany at the most. The U.S. has the most data centers today, with 32% of the world's approximately 33% of 8,000 data centers. So what is that calculator? So $8,000 times 0.33. Wow, so we got 2640. So over 26,000 data centers here in the U.S. And obviously, bits be tripping is one of those. Hive is one of those. What's the R? Oh my goodness, why am I forgetting them? Anyways, I know a few of them. And Django would be one of those. I'm not sure how he labels his location, but yeah. So anyways, the IEA forecasts a rapid pace of growth for data center electricity consumption over the U.S. over the next couple of years, rising roughly 4% of the U.S. demand in 2022 to 6% by 2026. Expanding 5G networks and cloud-based services are other drivers of that growth, right? So it's not just cryptocurrency, it's generative AI, and then a little bit more with, expanding networks from your maybe various cellular providers, ISPs, whatever it might be. And then they have a little chart here that says low case, best case, high case. So red is high, and then it says terawatt hours. Global electricity demand for data centers, AI, and cryptocurrencies. Now, that's not calculating all cryptocurrency mining operations, big and small, into overall power draw that's used. But we talked about this before. The best way forward is just to optimize our power grid, improve it. The infrastructure bill was passed. It's being worked on. And obviously, some European countries have like the most efficient infrastructure configuration out there. And we really need to replicate that here in the United States. So we'll see how things go. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. But I'm not concerned about it, right? I am mindful of my environmental footprint in the world, right? Because, big oil always wants to make you reflect on yourself instead of them taking action for themselves. But I'm mindful of I don't just throw out my electronics. I make sure it goes to a recycling plant that can actually recycle it. And it's not going to be like, yeah, we're recycling it and throw it in a dump. I make sure, to recycle the proper components. And and what I mean by components is, if we have paper plates for an outing or a picnic or whatever, I'm not going to just throw it in the trash. Cardboard, stuff like that. I'm always mindful of my impact on the world. But that's just how I am. Not everybody cares. People just throw things away. It don't really matter, But I am mindful of my impact, and I try to keep my family accountable as well. But not too many people care, so we'll see. I'm not a Greenpeace person, but I do care about the Mother Earth. She's very beautiful. Anyways, Bitcoin developer Luke Daja raises concerns over centralization in Bitcoin mining. 11 pools control the network. Daja said that a handful of large mining pools currently dominate Bitcoin mining and provide a vast majority of computing power used to secure the Bitcoin network. These pools can vary in their respective total network hash rate. Some notable pools often include Antpool, Foundry, F2 Pool, Poolin, Binance Pool, among others. The exact distribution changes over time due to various factors such as changes in pool capacities and emergence of new mining pools. The crux of Daja's concerns lies in these pools' disproportionate influence over the blockchain. He argues that decentralization could allow these entities to exert undue influence on which transactions are confirmed, thereby undermining the Bitcoin's key value proposition, which is censorship resistance. Now, compared to other cryptocurrencies, let's go here, mining pullstats.stream. Compared to other cryptocurrencies, like let's say for example, I think Cas was pretty good decentralized or distributed. Am I in your way? No, I'm not in your way. Okay, good. Let's go to another coin real quick. Another coin. Yeah, you see how Bitcoin Gold is like 86% or 88% on 2 miners? Like, that's not a decentralized network, right? But Caspa and Bitcoin are, right? So yeah, Foundry, Antpool, F2 Pool, via BTC, Binance. Honestly, if those pools right there got together collectively and decided, yo, you know what, we're not going to do this, we're going to do this, they could threaten the network in a centralized way. But I'm not too concerned about it, to be honest. I'm just reading this article to you. You let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments or in the live chat below. Dashar said that Ocean Mining was launched to counter some encroaching centralization in Bitcoin mining. Ocean aims to shift the balance of power from a few large pools to individual miners by enabling them to create their own blocks. Dashar states that this approach would foster a more democratic and decentralized mining process where decisions are not centralized within a few powerful entities. He emphasized that while decentralization is challenging, especially given the natural tendency towards centralization for efficiency and profit, it's essential for the health and integrity of Bitcoin. Then they go on to talk about energy consumption, and they compared the energy consumption of Bitcoin mining to everyday appliances such as clothes dryers to provide a perspective on the energy demands. He argued that the value and principles offered by decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin must be considered against its energy consumption. So as a counter argument to the article that we just read, Dashar discussed potential future applications of Bitcoin, suggesting that its relevance and utility continue to grow in various sectors. He indicated that Bitcoin's evolution is an ongoing process, with its store of value and remittance capabilities paving the way for a broader use of currency. He also emphasized the need for better accessibility, user interfaces, and education in Bitcoin ecosystem to encourage wider use and understanding of its features, including the importance of validating transactions against full nodes. Now, what's very interesting to me is my sister finally called me the other day, and she's like, you know what? I finally understand why you like blockchain. Like, she didn't understand it. And you know, I sent her articles and videos and like learning guides, and she found one that she liked, and she's like, this is gonna change the world. I was like, I've been telling you, sis. I've been telling you. So it's good. It's good to see, you know, it's gonna continue to grow. You're gonna continue to educate people, and it's all gonna be good in the future. Anyways, we got 12 minutes, 10 minutes almost till Red Pen and Mining goes live. Let's look about this Coinbase, how Brian Armstrong reacts to the Ethereum staking issue. And we're going to wrap up. If you have any last minute comments, questions, concerns, or anything like that, please send me a super chat or at me in the live chat. Otherwise, I look forward to hearing from you in the future if you're not joining us live. Anyways, it talks about staking software and how it interacts with the network to validate transactions and propose new blocks. You know, how staking users, blah, blah, blah. It just tells you about staking, right? And some of you might already know. But single client setups mentioned that the post criticized Coinbase staking methods can be more vulnerable to network-wide outages or consensus bug. If most network participants are using the same client and a bug is discovered in that client, it could lead to a large portion of the network going offline or agreeing to the incorrect state transitions. This happened in November 2020 when Ethereum's GEF client, where a bug led to a chain split, a multi-client approach where the network is supported by different software clients. It's considered to be a best practice as it helps to prevent a single point of failure. In a staking environment, nodes run clients to participate in blockchain consensus. A single client setup, staking setup, refers to a situation where all or majority of nodes run the same client software, and of course, this poses a systemic risk. Consensus bugs. centralized risk, and security weaknesses. And as I mentioned on Twitter, individual called them out. Again, I couldn't find it on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I retweeted it and tagged Coinbase. And Brian Armstrong did say that they were looking into it. But, you know, what are they proposing? When are they planning to fix? As of right now, I know a lot of people removed their staking or their Ethereum from Coinbase staking and put it somewhere else. And there's all kinds of different options out there. What is it called? Ethereum staking pools. Let's see if we got a calculator. Rocket pool, blah blah blah. Ledger, pooled stake. The best Ethereum stake platforms. Well, this is the opinion piece, but let's see here. So Lido, Rocket Pool, Stakewise, Stakefish, Binance, Kraken. But look at the fees, right? I don't like Binance, to be honest, so I'm probably not. I wouldn't use that. Bitcoin Swiss, Stakefish, yeah, DeFi. So Binance is not DeFi. Kraken, no. So these are all centralized exchanges. So this is like you need a validator. You need 32 ETH to become a validator. But there's other ways to stake if you don't have your 32 ETH. Where's that website I like to use? There's a website that I like to use. I'm not seeing it though. Anyways, people pulled their funds out of Coinbase. Concerns were raised, and Brian said they're looking into it. Hopefully we see an update from Coinbase to see what's going on and what their plan is to fix it, just in case, you know, if there's a consensus bug or centralized risk, that they mitigate the security and centralization of it. Anyways, Core Scientific returns to NASDAQ as Wall Street shows renewed love for Bitcoin mining. I don't know. I really don't care, to be honest. Maybe some of you guys do. But Core, which has operations in 5 U.S. states, Texas, North Dakota, North Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, mines for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies by packing data sets full of ASICs, blah, blah, blah. As recently in 2021, Core was one of the largest publicly traded mining companies in the U.S., hitting the market in July for that year via special purpose acquisition, blah, 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 roughly $4.3 billion. However, Bitcoin lost over 60%. The digital currency Core was producing was suddenly worth a lot less than its operating costs to maintain. Without the significant cash flow, financial debt owned the company's equipment it was leasing. Core was forced to enter bankruptcy in December 2022. The stock has fallen more than 98%. Rather than liquidating, Core continued to operate and reach a deal with senior security note holders who hold a bulk of the company's debt. The restructuring plan announced Tuesday has slashed $4 million in debt from Core's balance sheet, letting it survive. Core said that its new credit facility, along with projecting operating cash flow, will allow the company to emerge and continue to executing the multi-million-year growth plan. So basically, they went through a very successful Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They're alive, and yeah, they're still kicking somehow. Yay, I guess. Returns to NASDAQ as Wall Street shows renewed love for Bitcoin mining. Does Wall Street really love Bitcoin mining, or do they just want the Bitcoin? We'll see. OKX halts mining pool services. Registration closes on January 26th. This was yesterday. All crypto mining services on the exchange will cease on February 26th. So I'm pretty sure nobody I know was using OKX. So if you were, it stopped. Just go check it out. And someone put Doom on Dogecoin. Doom, the popular game, right? That was released in 1993, was now available on Dogecoin network thanks to a relatively new protocol that lets developers stash large amounts of data on blockchain. D is for Doom on Dogecoin. Developer Mini Doge Art, who put the game on Dogecoin, posted at launch. Now inscribed on Dogecoin blockchain forever. This means that game developments on Dogenals fetches all of its gaming data entirely from the data stored on the Dogecoin network. It does not rely on any other sources outside the network. Doom was among the first computer games in the 90s, blah, blah, blah. It's definitely an original. Inscriptions, data entry, blah, blah, blah. Transactional activity bumps. It just talks about how Dogecoin is increasing. Where's the the event? So dognals. How do you say that? Dogenals? Is that how you say it? Dogenals? I don't know how you say it properly. Is Dogenals? Dognals? Let's see here. DRC20, Dogenal Explorer. So like ordinals. Where's Doom at? How do you find Doom? I'll go and look it up. The inscription in Doom on Dogecoin blockchain demonstrates that even a compact game can be permanently preserved on the blockchain, highlighting the capability for a broad spectrum of digital content to securely managed and stored. What's on here, anyways? Doge skulls. Please note ordinal space experimental. 85 Doge. That looks pretty cool. I might get one of those. Just for the S and Gs. And then what is this? Crypto price effort to come back. Bitcoin soars 5%. Yada yada yada. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see here. Red Panda mining. Where you is? And then you got Rabbit mining at 1 p.m. We'll see how things go. But yeah. All right, let's check out chat. So Crypto Craig, mining of the North. Chris Hanley, Tech Man, what's going on? B Loves, we all know what's coming when you see this because it's going to be big. All right, Nerd Beast, what's going on? Neomorphous, Crypto Craig. If we hit 20K after the halving, then that is going to really shake up the mining scene. That will force massive hash rate to come off. Yes, 100%. And then for you to be able to buy hardware at a discount, if you're going to stack up some more hardware. I bet Retro Mike is converting his farm into AI and VAS, probably, but maybe not. Moore's Law is dead. Yeah, Moore's Law is dead. And the efficiency gains we're getting from these hardware and pieces. Matter of fact, let's go check out video cards and see what's popping. Like, the only thing I'm interested in out of this generation of GPUs, like I used to have a 4090. I don't have any 40 series GPU. My laptop's a 4070, but the only one I'm interested in is a 4080 Super, maybe. I'm gonna wait for day one reviews, but we'll see what's up. What's up, Veteran Miner? But yeah, I'm not really interested in this. I got a 7900 XTX. I didn't want to sell it. 24 gigabytes of VRAM, pretty decent. The second best performing card out there besides the 4090. 4080 Super is the only other one that interests me. But I really hope that the 5000 series and the 8000 series just show us a decent leap in performance, but just so much more efficient. We need to get more efficient. Moving on. Sam Fisher, I never thought of all that. I will add data center to my resume. Thanks. Yes, sir. Retro Mike, I will buy all the older hardware with my Vertcoin, Feathercoin, and Ubix until the end. Everybody's talking to each other. We need low power rates like Retro Mike. Yes, we do. And I think if the power companies diversified their energy provider, well, the energy they provide, I think they could not only make money, but they can save their users money. Chris Henley, all right. Have a great day. Heading to get some Pokemon cards with the sun. Good luck. Go get that Pokemon. Got to catch them all. Tech Man, you can promote being non-pollutive without being environment. Yes, that is true. I'm pretty sure what is that? Bacatron 07. I'm pretty sure that those pools are also conscious that they can lose a lot of the hash rate in a matter of minutes if buyers discover that the pools try any network attack. Matter of fact, guys, after the halving, which is halving, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I keep doing it. After the halving, we're going to see a lot of hash rate come off of Bitcoin. We're going to see a lot of hash rate come off of Bitcoin. Obviously, it's going to be a minute. It's not going to be instantly, right? People are going to be like, okay, well, I am not, and this is the hard part, right? This is what Mike was talking and I were talking about, and I posted about it on Twitter, is I hope that people are calculating, correctly, right? They need to be calculating the overhead for running their operations, the Bitcoin price, based upon Bitcoin price and a certain power limit. I am still profitable until this point. And if they don't have capital or cash or whatever to sustain themselves throughout that downturn, they're going to be SOL. And so we might see some mining facilities, close down. We might see people just shut off for now. We'll see what exactly happens. But I'm betting the network hash rate is going to shake up. And we'll see how things stabilize. The network hash rate dips. Obviously, difficulty will lag behind it. And then eventually level off. So we'll have to see how things go. But yeah. Doge and alls. Doge and alls? Is that how you say it? Instead of dog and alls? It's Doge and alls? Anyways. I should describe 2 terabytes of prawn on there. All right. Since we're being ridiculous. Davey. What are you guys doing? You guys are just being silly. ETH fork again? What is that about? ETH fork again. So that, are you talking about the previous fork? You're talking about the previous fork? So if there was a break in consensus, and see the Ethereum, not the fake Ethereum. Some of you know what that is. So Ethereum Classic's the real Ethereum. Ethereum is not the real Ethereum. It's just the one that they cherry pick. If something happens, okay, well, let's go ahead and omit all of these blocks or omit all of this that happened, and we're just going to go with this chain instead and keep going. One goes by code as law, and the other one just cherry picks what it wants if something wrong happens. So in the past, not only did you have that where Ethereum Classic was born and then the new Ethereum was created, but you also had that situation in 2020 where they just basically rolled back or omitted those blocks and then continue moving forward. So Ethereum just does what it wants. And the dev team, obviously has consensus, and they might let you vote on it. And then there's EIP proposals and updates and all kinds of stuff. I am interested in Ethereum's update coming here shortly. It's on testnet. We'll see how it goes in March. But I'm very interested in how things go with Ethereum. But I don't think there's another fork planned. Just basically cherry picking shit. Sam Fisher, hey Serpent, are you bullish or bearish on Dynex in the long term? I'm bullish on Dynex. They still got a long way to go, but I'm bullish on Dynex because I've seen some of the capabilities it can do. It just needs to get out its marketplace and just get on it, man. They just need to get on it. Generative AI or AI in general is huge. It's growing fast and faster. And if they don't keep up, they're not going to be able to sustain. So hopefully they can keep up. But unfortunately, they have a lot of people who don't like them, and a lot of people who know how to hurt them, and they keep getting pushed down. Every time they push up, they get pushed back down. They need to overcome. They need to adapt and overcome, because there's other AI companies out there that are really ready to go and or working on getting ready to go, and will blow Dynex out of the water if they don't continue to grow and innovate. But I am bullish on it long term. I just want to see more progress from it. I really do want to see more progress. Hopefully Sumi can step out into the light, show his face, so some of y'all can stop complaining about that crap, because that's stupid. And hopefully the dev team can overcome some of the challenges that they have. Retro Mike, did you see that AMD wants to release the Ryzen 9000 series in April of this year, 4 nanometer? No, I did not, but that'd be very interesting. I just upgraded to the 7950 because my previous PC got hit by lightning, but I don't know if I'll be able to upgrade right away, buddy. I would love to, but we'll see. Ryzen 9000 series. Ooh, okay. April 2024. Is it going to be AM5 socket still? My motherboard should be able to handle the upgrade. Please tell me it's still AM5 socket. Yeah, you just need to flash your BIOS. Damn. I might upgrade. We'll see. Retro Mike just stopping by to show some love. Appreciate you, man. I'm not sure if you got the package I mailed to you per your request. But yeah. All right, is Red Panda Mining live? Yes, Red Panda Mining is live. Go hang out with him. Thank you so much for stopping by. Do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date. And I appreciate you all so much. I'm going to go get the good day started, go see mom, and wake up the wife, because she's been snoring in the back of my video. I'm not sure if you've been hearing it. But all right, guys, take care. Have yourself a wonderful day. I'll catch you next one.